All right, we're gonna make some candles. I got my lovely assistant here. She's actually the one who knows how to do all this stuff. Matter of fact, she's where I get all my ideas and everything from. But we're gonna make these candles. Everything that we have, except for the gas cylinder, we already had. If you can find some place in your community that uses wax to make molds, you can get wax from there. Might not be the prettiest stuff, so she added food coloring to make it, I guess, more presentable. For our wicks, we had everybody's got that one sock that just can't never find the mate to, but we had a wool sock, and we cut the top of it into little strips. We got some old cans from different kinds of peas and beans and tuna fish and whatever else. We have a bird, and basically all we're doing is we've got a pot with some water in it and an old can that we're melting the wax in. And we're gonna make some candles. Where I don't know about where all y'all live, but where we live, we have hurricanes and stuff, and we might have to go a few days without power. And it's nice to be able to have a little bit of light. This is paraffin, I believe, because it does smoke a little bit. I wouldn't advise burning this all the time, but during an emergency, it fits the bill. And so that's what our video is going to be today. Okay, so why don't you tell us exactly what you've done here to get started, to set up and everything, and that way to people out there, in case they need candles for whatever reason, they can do the same thing.
Okay, what I did was I put a pot of water on our little Coleman stove and started it boiling. Used this old can and didn't put too much wax in at once because it does take a while to melt. And I have an old little dowel rod that I stir with, and it's pretty much 3/4 of the way full here with melted wax. There's just a little bit down at the bottom that's not melted yet, but that won't affect our purposes for starting it with the wicks. And how I make my wicks is like you've talked about, the wool sock. This was an old ribbed cotton sweater. We've tried t-shirts and knit shirts and other things, but what we found worked the best was the 100% cotton or the wool. So what I do is I take a strip, and I'm just going to dip it straight down. It's going to curl when it hits the wax, but that's okay. It'll take a few dips before we get something that is kind of like this, flexible but still stiff enough that can be used as a wick. So here we go. If the wind will let me get it in there. I'm just going to hold it over the can and let the drips.
Okay, so now we got it dipped one time. We're letting it dry. Is that what we're doing?
Yep, and it's pretty stiff. You can see, but it's still bendy, but
oh yeah,
you can feel it starting. So then once I put it back in here, it is going to melt a little bit down, but that's okay because it will just stiffen right back up when I pull it out.
Now when they do the candles, that's like goes in the candelabra type stuff, is that basically all they do, is they just keep dipping?
Yes, and I have made those, and I meant to bring them out here to show, and I forgot to do it. They're still laying on the kitchen table. But if you just repeatedly dip your wick and raise it up, and it'll just start building up. I don't know if the camera can see, but there's a lot more buildup on the bottom than there is at the top, so as it drains down, and that will naturally form your taper. And the length of your wick will determine the length of your taper. Okay, so this is you dip this wick 3 times.
I'm sorry, all the wind is just all of a sudden decided to blow. It was calm up until I started recording. We dipped it 3 times, and this has got to cool.
It doesn't take long.
I'm going to lay it down. You see it's a little bit flexible, but not. Try to get it straight. We're making these long, but you can cut them to whatever size container you're going to put them in. And we're going to, we're going to make some more wicks, and then we'll come back and go ahead and pour into one of these containers and start the next part of the process. All right, we got our wicks made, they're drying. Now we're going to go ahead and pour the wax into the jar. I didn't want to make a really long video. It takes forever to upload anything where we're at, so I'm just going to do 1 candle right now, and we'll look at what we've got done, how much we've got done with the wax that we have when we come back. So let's go ahead and try not to splash wax on ourselves. I don't think the hot wax will burn you too bad, but it's probably not something you want to do.
It doesn't feel real good.
And let's hope the glass doesn't shatter. Looks like there's a piece of wool sock in there. Is that enough?
Yep, perfect.
Might want to put some more wax in there so it doesn't float. Okay, we're going to let this set up some, because if we go to try to put a wick in there right now, it's just going to fall over. Forget using all them clothespins and tying strings and popsicle sticks or whatever else. We'll just let it set up a little bit, stick our wick in, cut it off the length, and let it finish curing. And when we come back, we'll look and see how much we've got done. All right, it's set up enough. It's still going to be awfully soft in the middle. You're going to put that right there. Let it sit. Don't move it. It's too long. The wick's too long. But you can come back and cut it off. But that's basically all I do. Let it skim over to where it'll hold the wick and stick the wick in. And you have them scissors? We'll be back when these dry up and show what we've got. All right, so we made us some candles. One of them got a little air pocket in it, but I lit the wind's blowing like crazy. Now again, these are paraffin, so it's going to make a little bit of smoke, and it's not going to smell real good. But these are only in case of emergency. We're not trying to like sell candles or nothing. This is a case of power goes out, we can put one of these things in each room and have enough light to be able to function. But here's the dipped ones. Whoa. Basically, you just keep putting it in there and letting it build up, and gravity makes them taper. You can put these in like little candelabra type things. And we got a whole bunch more wax But I just want to kind of give you all an idea. The only thing we paid for basically was the gas for the Coleman stove. We had a place that uses the wax to do molds, so we got the wax. Once they use it a few times, I guess they throw it away, but it works perfect for candles. And I guess that's about it.